and all. I welcome you all for today's second session under module 4, that is underground cables. In the last session we have discussed about corona. So here in this session we are going to discuss about underground cables. So in this second session we are going to discuss about the introduction about the cable, what are the advantages of cables, what are the requirements for the selection of cables, and what are the properties of insulating materials, what are the different types of insulating materials that are being used. First, let us have an introduction about these cables. So these power transmission can be done in two ways. One is the overhead transmission and another one is the underground transmission. In case of underground transmission, these cables are being laid underground to transmit the power. So these UG cables are used for power transmission with high efficiency when compared to overhead transmission. So these UG cables are usually used in case of urban areas, industries, and also to supply power from the overhead to consumers' premises. Means from the overhead, these are tapped, and then for the home domestic connection and all internal connections are being done through through underground. These cables usually consist of two or more conductors which are wrapped with the insulating materials. So only one disadvantage is these UG cables are not used for long distances. For a long distance transmission, if you are using this will not be economical. Next, what are the advantages of cables? So these UG cables are reliable when compared to the overhead transmission line. These requires less maintenance, means once these cables are laid, regular maintenance is not much required when compared to overhead transmission, because under overhead transmission we need to check whether tree trimming has to be done or not. So this requires less maintenance. It is durable. It has good appearance, means beauty of the city will be maintained when you are using these cables. It has good appearance. There are no chances of electrocution as in the case of overhead transmission. There are no chances of electrocution. What are the requirements for the selection of cables? The conductors must be coated with tin. So if they are coated with a tin, it increases the strength and durability of the cable. Also, to increase the capacity and flexibility of the conductor, stranded copper or aluminium is used. So the conductor size, what you are going to choose, it should be able to carry the required amount of load current. If the current increases beyond the limit, there are causes of overheating and voltage drop. These cables must be properly insulated to ensure safety and reliability. During installation and operation, these cables should be provided with mechanical protection. This prevents physical damage of the cables. What are the properties these insulating materials should have? These have good resistivity and high insulation resistance to avoid leakage currents. High dielectric strength. They should have very high dielectric strength to avoid breakdown of the cable. The value of thermal coefficient and permittivity must be low. They should be non-combustible. They should be chemically stable. They should have greater viscosity, and they should have greater tensile strength and plasticity. They should be non-hygroscopic, unaffected by acids and alkaline to avoid chemical action. Good mechanical strength to withstand mechanical handling of the cables. Good mechanical strength to handle the good mechanical strength to handle the cables. Different insulating materials used are rubber. It is obtained from a milky sap of tropical trees or from oil products. The relative permittivity lies between 2 to 3. Its dielectric strength is about 30 kilovolt per mm. It has a high resistivity of about 10 power 18 ohm centimeter, which makes it feasible to be used as a material for insulation. What are the drawbacks? So there are some drawbacks. Along with high insulating property, it also absorbs moisture. It is one of the drawbacks. And also it can operate at very low temperature of only at 38 degrees centigrade. As rubber is soft, it is prone to damage when exposed to sunlight, and hence pure rubber is not normally used for insulation. Next is vulcanized India rubber, or commonly called as VIR. Pure rubber has to undergo vulcanization to make it useful as an insulating material. This rubber is more durable with high mechanical strength as compared to natural rubber. This VIR insulation is normally used for low and medium voltage cables. VIR cables are more durable than these impregnated paper cables. The drawback is here, during vulcanization, it undergoes some chemical, it uses some of the chemical compounds like sulfur. Here, the sulfur which is used, it gets reacts with the copper. That is one of the drawback of these VIR. Next is the impregnated paper. It usually consists of chemically pulped paper made from wood drippings and impregnated with paraffinic and naphthenic material. These have replaced the rubber insulation. The main advantage of using impregnated paper are it is economical and it has low capacitance with high dielectric strength, and it has high insulation resistance. So the dielectric strength is around 200 kilovolt per centimeter, and the resistivity is 10 power 17 ohm centimeter. So usually these impregnated papers are used for insulating the transformer, that is from lower voltage to higher voltage. The insulation, for insulation purpose, they are going to use in case of transformer. The drawback is it has hygroscopic nature. That is the main drawback. Next is varnished cambric. It is formed when a cotton cloth is impregnated and coated with varnish. The cambric is covered on the conductor, forming a tape, and its surface is tinged with petroleum jelly to allow sliding of one turn over another as the cable. So we know that cable will be bent. So in order to uh, avoid the breakage, these are provided with a petroleum jelly over each layer. So due to the hygroscopic nature of the varnished cambric, they are always provided with a metallic sheath. So one metallic sheath will always be provided. The dielectric strength is around 4 kilovolt per mm, and permittivity lies between 2.3 to 3.8. It is also referred to as empire tape. Next is polyvinyl chloride, or commonly called as PVC. This PVC has high insulation resistance and dielectric strength, and it can provide mechanical toughness over a wide range of temperature. As PVC is chemically inactive to many alkalis and acids, it is preferred over VIR in adverse environmental conditions. The elasticity of PVC is poor as of rubber. So this is not so much elasticity. Bending is not being done using these PVC. They are normally used for low and medium domestic and power installations. So this is the diagram for these PVC, polyvinyl chloride, that is the chemical compound. And these are the pipes generally we are going to use for our home domestic power, domestic installation and all, for domestic appliance, for domestic applications. We are going to use this polyvinyl chloride. Polyethylene, it is a type of polymer called polyolefins resins. It has lower dielectric loss than PVC, and they are sensitive to moisture under voltage stress. It is used for high voltages only. This is XLPE, means XLPE means cross-linked polyethylene. It is a type of thermosetting plastic and has different polyethylene chains linked together. This prevents the polymer from melting or separating at higher temperature. Therefore, these are useful for higher temperature applications. This cross-linked polyethylene has higher dielectric loss than polyethylene. When compared to polyethylene, these have higher dielectric losses. EPR is nothing but the ethylene propylene rubber. It is a type of thermosetting plastic. It is a copolymer of ethylene and propylene, and these are commonly called as elastomers. These EPR, they are more flexible than polyethylene and cross-linked polyethylene, but it has higher dielectric losses than both of them. So in this session, in this lecture 2, we have discussed about what is a cable, means what are these underground cables, what are the advantages of these cables, requirements that are for the cable, what are the different insulating materials that are used in case of cables. So in the next session, we are going to discuss about how the cable looks like and what are the different types of cables that are being used. Thank you one and all.